Welcome, everyone. And yes, you read it correctly. African Americans file federal class action lawsuit against illegal immigration enforcement. And this has been a long time coming. If you've been following for the last 4 years during the Biden administration, it is reported that President Joe Biden flew hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants from South America into America and placed them specifically in swing states, attempting to end the swing vote forever in favor of the Democrats. And African Americans since the 1980s have been complaining about illegal immigration in California and Los Angeles City and County, and that's been ignored. And it's been ignored specifically in California because at one time, Mexican Americans only lived in East Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles City and County is more than 50% Hispanic due to 45 years of illegal immigration. And we understand in California that the and specifically not only California, but in to all of the border states, African Americans understand that for the last 45 years, California, Arizona, and other states have allowed illegal immigration because it then diluted the power of the African American socioeconomic political scene. Specifically in Los Angeles City and County, the Nation of Islam was strong, as well as the Black Panthers. African Americans were the majority in El Segundo, Carson, Inglewood, Watts, Compton, and El Segundo. So once again, El Segundo, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, Carson, and at least one other city in Los Angeles County were predominantly African American. In addition to that, the city of Oakland was once 65-70% African American, and due to the decline of jobs and the closing of the Oakland Army base and its naval base on the island of Alameda, African Americans were no longer employed in the city of Oakland as well as in San Francisco. And there is an all-out discrimination in the city of San Francisco against hiring African American heterosexual men. So what we see now this week in the last 7 days is that a judge in New Mexico and a judge in Wisconsin have been arrested for aiding and abetting, as well as aiding and abetting illegal aliens, as well as obstruction of justice. And these justices have actually thwarted ICE in capturing illegal immigrants that were wanted for deportation. So it's crazy and insane that these judges, and it shows you the insidiousness of a lot of white Americans who label themselves as Democrats, that they ignore the poverty and the crime in cities like Baltimore, Oakland, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Detroit, and they are focused on importing illegal immigrants into the United States, and then forcing all U.S. taxpayers to subsidize these illegal immigrants, which is taxing on our economy. So once again, federal American taxpayers are being forced to subsidize 15 to 20 million illegal aliens, mainly from South American Hispanic countries, and they are ignoring the African American populations in cities like Washington, D.C., Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, Los Angeles, as well as Oakland. And specifically, when these illegal aliens are coming into the country, they're being sent to predominantly African American cities. And I know for myself that we've watched the demographic of Los Angeles over the last 45 years. I remember, oh, there it is again. Okay, so there it is. West Los Angeles, where the movie Car Wash, the location of the movie Car Wash, was a black city. West Los Angeles, El Segundo, Carson, Watts, Compton, and Inglewood. That's 6 cities in Los Angeles City and County that were predominantly African American that have lost their economic and socio-political power due to illegal immigration, mainly from Mexico and South America. And Democrats, white Democrats, turn a blind eye, and they want new blood, new voters that are loyal to them. And my belief is that the state of California is actually a conservative Republican state, and most of the country is conservative. But when you look at the illegal immigration, the mail-in ballots in states like California and Arizona, that is what's allowing illegal immigrants to vote in this country and is skewing the votes in these different immigrant sanctuary cities. So now the federal government has made it clear to governors like the governor of Massachusetts, of New York, of Governor Hochul, that if you're going to harbor illegal immigrants, you're not going to receive any federal funding at the city level and at the state level. And so the state of California is trying to gain federal funds by bringing in illegal immigrants because they're losing a population due to the screwed up economy in the state of California. And for the first 100 days of Trump administration, there has not been a lot to report on concerning the financial markets. So specifically, Bitcoin has grown. Let's see the price right now of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has reached a local high of $95,000 and $95,083. It's up today $104.50. So I'm expecting Ethereum to be up as well. Okay. And Ethereum is up $3.45 to the price of $1,803. And I would expect the S&P, that should be positive, but it's down $6 to the price of $5,548. But I do expect the Dow Jones to be on a positive note here. And the Dow Jones is up $114 to the price of $40,227. And so, as I've said several times over the last 3 months, the first 100 days of President Trump's second cabinet that and administration, is that I anticipated at one time, I predicted the first 2 weeks of April, there would be some release of economic benefit. And then I said, okay, the third week. There hasn't been much released, but over the last couple of days, Trump has had a cabinet meeting where they have boasted some gains. And I believe that the trade tariffs are going to work. It's really going to injure China, and China is going to have to remove all of those tariffs and renegotiate and reorganize how it is doing business with the United States. In addition to that, the members of NATO and the European Union, they're going to have to strategize how they're going to deal with us. And I believe the tit for tat tariffs, okay, that's fine. And most Americans, we love German cars. We love BMWs. We love Porsche vehicles. We love Mercedes-Benz. And I'm a great fan of Volkswagen. But if American cars, which they're not always the greatest vehicles, but if American automobiles in general can't be sold in Germany and other European nations, then we should continue the tit for tat tariffs. And a lot of this started after World War II, when the US dollar was used as the international currency. But keep in mind, that's when we were under the gold standard. I have said several times that I believe that Fort Knox was emptied in the early 90s and the late 80s. And now they are denying President Trump a visit to Fort Knox because they have to bring gold from overseas in to replace what has been stolen. And then once President Trump and Elon Musk goes through and they take a look at the gold bars, then it's going to disappear. But the gold has been gone for at least 40 years. So let's not play games. And that is why I say that the US dollar is worthless, that the Federal Reserve Bank is worthless as an entity, and the dollar that is produced by the US Treasury has no value at all. And that is the true reason why you find the United States always using its military might around the world, in particular in the Middle East. And that is the main reason why the US is an ally of Israel, because other than that, the United States has no excuse and no business to be in the Middle East, but it's trying, and it's not trying, it is dominating its presence for market share of access to oil. And that is the true reason. And it doesn't matter. I love Donald Trump, but it doesn't matter whether it's Donald Trump, a Democrat or a Republican. The United States uses Israel as an excuse to be in the Middle East to bolster its economic clout, to have access to oil. Once that fizzles out, we'll find a new bag, something new to do. And right now, the economy is suffering. I don't see a budget being passed until April 2026. So Congress is moving too slow. I've heard Donald Trump's cabinet talk about advancing a budget, but the speaker right now, Mr. Johnson, I'm not impressed with him, and he hasn't done anything to really impress me that something is going to be massive movement on a budget with, for the next 12 months. So mark my word, Daniel Plummer, the crypto kid, has predicted that a complete budget will not be passed at least until April 2026. That's the minimum. Other than that, it's going to be stopgap budgets for 90 days for the next 12 months. So with that, this is the crypto kid, Daniel Plummer, with my predictions. You heard it here first on Crypto Kid TV. And thank you so much. And remember, despite all of this nonsense that's going on, that's mainly political, the future is definitely crypto.